Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, bringing you the 4th section to Chapter 6 in my Castlevania Night Difficulty video walkthrough. And this level is called the Refectory. And the reason for that is because we're going to be entering one and there's a big fat ass chef that you have to fight. And it's a pretty enjoyable fight, all be told. It's a cool boss fight. But first, you'll notice there's tons of ghouls, and the ghouls are glowing. And the reason they're glowing is because they've been eating something, and the glowing gives them the ability to fire sick. And if they hit you with the puke, it will poison you like I'm poisoned right now. To get it off, all you have to do is activate your light magic, and it'll stop it from poisoning you. It's nothing too major, but right now I'm being stubborn and I'm not using it, so no idea what that's for. Maybe it's because I've vowed not to use it. There you go. As you can see, turns it off. And the trick to this is you ring the bell, the ghouls come out, that enables you to jump up into the room, but the ghouls only come out when there's food, so you need to run to the left and pick up pick up some shit from in there. Then when you lay it down on that plate, you ring the bell, the ghouls come out, then you can go from where they came from and infiltrate the kitchens and then fight the chef. He's a bit of a beast. And I've been speaking about channel hopping on the TV behind me, so I might as well speak of the next movie that I've hopped onto, and this one is entitled Leap Year, and it's an Amy Adams rom-com, basically, a perky Emerald Isle rom-com, as they've called it, from the writers of Maid of Honor. And it's another film I think I've seen before, and it's one of those types of films that people would probably be embarrassed to even say that they were associated with. And it brings me to an interesting statement that I believe in completely at this moment in time. And I don't know if anyone else is like me, and if you are, please speak up. We are a cloistered bunch. But I've got to this stage in my life where I'm either growing a vagina or something along those lines, but I'm not ashamed to admit I enjoy a good rom-com. And yeah, there I go. I said it. I stand by it, and yeah, out of one closet and into another. But this is the Refectory fight, and this is the big fat evil butcher guy. And what this dude does is, obviously, when he lifts his arm up like that and it glows, he's going to do a big pail of fire that goes out in front of him. If you get close enough to see him swipe, he does that. You can sync block it. The only problem is, he does one that's unblockable, and it's very fast. Also, the dude will run away from you and start throwing scenery at you. He also eats, which brings his life back, so be careful of that. Just beat him up and it'll stop him from eating. And aside from having a lot of health and doing a lot of damage, it's just a standard fight, really. He takes a beating, it's easy to make mistakes because he does a lot of damage, and just use your whatever moves work best for you, whatever setup you like. If you're losing life, use your light magic. If you want to do more damage, use your your dark magic and just beat him up. As you can tell, he's pretty simple to keep a max neutral essence going, because you can keep your combo on him pretty easily. He's nice and stacked. Be careful when he picks that pot up, because it means he's going to breathe fire like he just did then. It's got a very piss weak radius, so you can get out of it quite easily. It's not too bad. And just keep repeating the pattern and watch what I do. But yeah, there's an interesting paradigm when it comes to romantic comedies. They seem to adapt as the years go on, like anything does in cinema. It's a progression, and sometimes it's not for the best. And at this moment in time, you can really tell the difference between a good romantic comedy and a bad one. And there's probably people thinking, there's a difference, because they're all fucking garbage. And don't get me wrong, I was like you. Oh, right there I'm using my light magic, so either there's a checkpoint on this fight and I died a few times, or I just couldn't be asked to patience this guy. So yeah, I get a bit sloppy here, but he's an annoying fight, so just be careful. But back in the 90s, even bad romantic comedies were watchable and entertaining because they still hit the right notes. They weren't too long, they weren't too preachy, you knew exactly where they were going, and they occasionally, they caught you off guard with a really funny gag. These days, they're all 2 hours fucking long. There's always some, unconvincing angle that they're working. There's always some different, plot twist you weren't expecting and you didn't fully support. And the humor's generally given away in the trailer, which is always a sign of a bad film. And it's just weird how they put so much money into them and they can't get much of a return when they're clearly poor films. But right now, when he puts that pot on his head, you need to get rid of the pot before you can continue this fight, and you can tell because his life is white. So grab him. I think it's you jump and grab it, and you go into the quick time event, and when you win, the sword goes back into his forehead. He's dead, and then you get the key off him, which allows you to continue the level. Movies are fucking funny though, regardless of genre, especially when you see like Hollywood's version of, you know, certain places that they just completely stereotype, and oh, it's just so funny. I mean, like this Leap Year film, is set in Ireland, and it's not the Ireland of today, which is, you know, like any other rural kind of country that's got, you know, some cities, but for the majority it's pretty, you know, there's fields, there's trees, there's, you know, small villages, there's, you know, little culminations of people and just little gatherings and what have you. But instead on this, it's like everybody's got fucking ginger hair, ginger sideburns, everybody's got no teeth and drinking. They're all singing folk songs, everybody's dancing and like running in circles. There's a violin in every man's hand. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is not the 20s. It's like oh, stereotypes are so funny. Just painting these pictures of these places, and the worst thing is there are people that aren't, you know, don't quite have the media awareness, that believe that Ireland is actually like this. It's like, don't get me wrong, there's probably places where old traditions are celebrated massively, you know, in some of the more rural areas. I mean, that's definitely a possibility, but not everywhere is like this. It's like you don't go to America and everyone walks around draped in fucking, you know, American flags. There's a burger in one hand, a KFC in other hand, you know, talking about how the cars that are automatic and stuff. It's not like that. There's all sorts of different things. It's just ridiculous. And I'm pretty sure I've seen this film, so it's time to move on. But we'll move on in the next video, because this is an interesting puzzle, this. When you run into this room, it's going to spawn one of the Knights of Armor. It's also going to spawn a bunch of skeletons. And you have to press 6 different one of those face plates. The face plates? What the fuck am I on about? Face plates. And if you don't know the order, this can be a really challenging fight. So the first one is on the left, 2 blue, 1 red. Once you've done that, run all the way back out of the room. And what it will do, it will despawn the skeletons so you don't have to fight them. Because how I originally did this room, I used the crystal and killed everything, but they still respawn. And this, it's so challenging, man. This section of the game, really challenging if you want to fight it, because I hate the skeletons. But the best thing to do, run out, run back in. They'll have to spawn again, and you can continue doing the right side. And once you do all 6 plates, the door will open and you can end the level. So that one is red. That one is red. And the middle one is blue, but I'm not going to risk it. I run all the way back out so the skeletons follow me, and then, because you can actually stand at the entrance to this room, wait for them to come bang on where you are, and then when you leave out this door, they turn to bones. Then when you run back in, they have to spawn again, and this enables you to run all the way up to that last plate, turn blue, press it, and end the level. So that is the easiest way of doing a potentially challenging room. So there you go. Puzzle solved. You can now go through the door and end the refectory level. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helped. It should help, because that is pretty challenging, and you take care now.